This psychological idea has far-reaching implications for how we learn, teach, and grow, and I'm excited to dive into it with you. So, what is zone of proximal development? In simple terms, it refers to the sweet spot where a person's current abilities meet the challenges they're faced with. It's the area where they can learn and develop new skills with guidance and support, but not so difficult that they become frustrated or overwhelmed. This concept was first introduced by psychologist Lev Vygotsky in the 1920s and has since been widely applied in education, psychology, and other fields. To understand zone of proximal development, let's take a look at its theoretical background. Vygotsky's sociocultural theory emphasizes the importance of social interaction and collaboration in learning. He believed that children learn best when they're working with more knowledgeable others, such as teachers or peers, who can provide guidance and support. This approach is often referred to as scaffolding, where the more experienced person provides temporary support and structure to help the learner build their skills. One of the key psychologists who built upon Vygotsky's work is Benjamin Bloom, who developed the concept of mastery learning in the 1960s. Bloom's approach involved breaking down complex skills into smaller components and providing targeted feedback and support to help students achieve mastery. By doing so, he was able to demonstrate that students who received this type of scaffolding support were able to learn more effectively and retain information better than those who did not. Research has consistently shown that zone of proximal development is a critical factor in learning and development. For example, studies have found that when learners are given tasks that are slightly beyond their current abilities, they're more likely to experience a sense of flow and engagement, which can lead to deeper learning and greater motivation. On the other hand, if tasks are too easy or too difficult, learners may become bored or frustrated, leading to decreased motivation and performance. So, how can we apply this concept in real-world situations? Let's consider an example from education. Imagine a teacher who wants to help her students learn a new math concept. And instead of simply lecturing them on the material, she could use a zone of proximal development approach by providing scaffolding support, such as visual aids, worked examples, or peer-to-peer learning activities. As the students become more confident in their abilities, the teacher can gradually withdraw support, allowing them to take on more responsibility and develop greater autonomy. In addition to education, zone of proximal development has implications for other areas of life, such as personal development and therapy. For instance, a therapist working with a client who's struggling with anxiety might use a zone of proximal development approach by providing gradual exposure to feared situations or stimuli, while also offering support and guidance to help the client build confidence and coping skills. Another important concept related to zone of proximal development is the idea of self-efficacy, which refers to an individual's belief in their ability to succeed in a particular task or situation. When people have high self-efficacy, they're more likely to take on challenges and persist in the face of obstacles. On the other hand, low self-efficacy can lead to self-doubt and avoidance of challenging situations. Research has also shown that zone of proximal development is closely tied to the concept of emotional regulation. When learners are able to regulate their emotions effectively, they're better able to manage stress and anxiety, which can help them stay focused and motivated in the face of challenges. This is especially important in situations where learners may be experiencing feelings of frustration or overwhelm. In conclusion, zone of proximal development is a powerful concept that has far-reaching implications for how we learn, teach, and grow. By recognizing the importance of social interaction, scaffolding, and deliberate practice within this optimal range, we can optimize our learning and development, achieving greater success and fulfillment in all areas of life. As I always say, the ego is not master in its own house, but with the right support and guidance, we can become the masters of our own learning and development. That's all for today's Psych with Sigmund. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, May your ego find balance between pleasure and reality.